Last episode, we learned who Lotus is and learned the limits of our arsenal. So today, let's expand our arsenal and find out who we are. This is Dan, a lone tenno with a quest to defeat the Murmur. I'm Nick Engineer, let's go zero to hero. We have a Rhino and a Lecter, but Rhino. Let's slap on that Dreamer's Bond. Can we get all the way? Nope, don't quite have the endo for that. So if we go for our duplicates, yeah, see, we have got some duplicates over here. We've got an extra Iron Phoenix I don't need. We've got an extra Zodiac Shred, and this is already surely enough. There it is. Fuse into this, get that extra point. Extra couple of points, in fact, because this is a universal polarity. This gives us more strength and more efficiency, bringing down the cost of Iron Skin whilst making all abilities, actually making all of them cheaper, but especially the Iron Skin, and making them all stronger. So this is an outright positive for us. Now I've decided to have a look at the circuit to see what mods I may be able to get access to. We could get Blood Rush, a huge benefit from melee weapon. But let's see what frames and weapons are available to us. See if I can get that Blood Rush, because that is a very, very nice mod. Okay, our options are not only limited, it also does not include our Rhino, which is very unfortunate. Now I could pick Caliban here, and this would start to give me mastery on the Caliban that I already own. Seeing as that's a mechanic the game has available to us, and is going to crop up at some point anyway, and it's the circuit, why not? What a messy fight. There we are, so if we leave now... Yes, we gained a bunch of intrinsics, but far, far more important, we should have Blood Rush now. Arcane Pulse, we could just slap that onto frames. Mason Neuroptics, I'm not actually planning to go all the way to rank 10, but Blood Rush is a nice pickup. But for now, we need to do this test.
Another job well executed.
Status updates on leveling Rhino. I've taken it upon myself to do it via the Cambion Drift, so I figure I'm going to need a variety of things from there anyway, including the materials, and some standing would be helpful. As it so happens, I've now collected enough not only of mother tokens for the standing, but also I now have the spinal core sections, so a rank up can be completed. Let's get that done. I'm going to pick up the Purified Hesiphron, because I know for a fact I'm going to need that. But then...
This specimen is a descendant of my original collection. How did...
Promise you won't yell at me.
You didn't incinerate them at all. You...
Dump them in the exocrine. We can rebuild. They're still out there, and doing quite well, it seems. I wanted to wound you, not maim. You're right to hate me.
No, I deny you my hatred. Find something else to feed on. Whatever you've become, I am still your sister.
You are more. I see that now. I name you Kaylee, Water Scourge.
With that out of the way, I'm also going to pop on over to Grandmother, trade in more of these mother tokens that I've acquired, and then immediately pop on over to Father, as I've already purchased a few bits and pieces from Father, but what I'd like to pick up now is the Acroyd Blueprint. The Acroyd Blueprint will allow me to construct a kick gun. I did pick up a Thymoid blueprint originally, however I've decided that the Acroid is going to be better for me because it also gives some slightly higher stats. It does come at the cost of magazine capacity, but that is fine for me. Okay, so now if we head on over to OTAC, browse wares, Purge of Gonic is a blueprint I do not currently have, so let's pick that one up here. I'm probably going to need the Adramel at some point as well, so I'm just going to pick it up as a matter of course. And whilst we're at it, Devolve Namelon, I'm sure I'm going to need that as well. Time for a clan update. I was advised, rather than cross connectors, to build this. To my surprise, it is not prohibitively expensive, despite its sheer size, and comes with many, many doors, which I can use to construct many, many things. I need to get to the lab, specifically I need to get to building the Oracle lab, and that requires an Oracle. So let's get an Oracle built. Contribute all. There we go, that's another thing done. Moving forwards with the power building, it's time to actually get around to building that Spore Laser, which requires a bunch of resources, and I figured I'd do this in the form of a bit of a time lapse. So mining has been happening aplenty to gather some of the materials required. I also discovered the amount of fishing materials required, and most notably that Scintillant is a core material required to build the Archroid loader. Now Scintillant can be obtained from 3 locations. It can be obtained rarely from the lowest level bounty, commonly from the next tier of bounty, which is level 15 to 25, or it can be obtained from the Isolation Vault. The issue with the Isolation Vault is they are so much higher level, they require a level of power that I currently do not have in my loadout. That's the entire reason I'm getting this Spore Laser. So I ran a number of these bounties, both off-stream and some of them on-stream, and let me show you how I felt about it after running quite a few of those bounties. Alright, bit of a status update. Done quite a few runs over on Deimos. There it is, lovely and lurking in the background. And having done those runs, doing the level 15 to 25 bounty time and time and time and time and time again, we have acquired something amazing. Oh yes indeed, we have acquired thousands of Endo and not a single piece of Scintillant. Not one. However, it has come to my attention there is another way to get this Spore Laser fully built that requires no Scintillant whatsoever. You see, the Spore Laser is a kit gun, and kit guns didn't start with Deimos, they started with Fortuna. So if we head on over to Fortuna, I might be able to get a different loader which will replace our need for Scintillant.
Oh, it's you. Yes, yes, they're here. I do not like your attitude. You, we, I am Zood. Kit guns are what we do. Bring parts or purchase Shatter's daily design. Just do it quickly. I have people skills. I am very skilled in getting them to leave.
Now that's a mood. Very skilled in getting them to leave. That is a mood right there. Rude dude, we love you. At rank 0, which is all we've got at the moment, we are neutral. We do indeed have access to both Deep Breath and Slap. And having already looked up the stats, Deep Breath is probably the one to go for. It's 500 standing to get this. I have 2,100 lying around, which is very helpful. However, I have absolutely none of these materials. Well, I have 7 Mitocardia Spores, that might as well be 0. But it's the Travesite, the Scrap, and the Scrubber Exobrain I'm looking at here. Travesite Alloy is the only one where we're going to need to get a blueprint, however. That should be affordable. So what I'm going to do is buy this now, on the assumption that it's going to be the right call. If that was wrong, well, I'll deal with it. But now I need to go have a look at getting Travesite.
Check, check.
So for that, we need to head on over to the mining vendor. Let's go say hi to them very quickly. And let's browse their wares. For the Travesite alloy, okay, Traveride is the only mining thing there. The rest of it, salvage and plastids, we've got plenty of that. And it's only 1,000 standing, so this is very good. And then that leaves us with the fishing bits and pieces. Shockprod Fishing Spear, 500 standing. I have 600 left over. I promise you this was not planned, but that is absolutely perfect for me. There we go. Let's head on into the arsenal. I think I have my Fishing Spear for Deimos already in place. Let's swap it out for the Shockprod just to make this easier to get to. We've already got a mining laser. So we have everything we need now to go and get these materials. Okay, resource gathering completed, at least hopefully. Let's dismantle the servofish. We got the scrubbers, we got the mine winders, don't need to keep any of them. So let's just dismantle, and yeah. So this is going to give us all of the exobrains and all of the scrap. Beautiful. That's everything we're going to need from the fishing side of things. I've also picked up the mining materials, so we should be good to go now. Next up, we need to actually assemble the materials for that deep breath piece, and specifically the Traversite alloy. So if we head on over here, Traversite, ready to go. Let's run that one through. And with that, the Traversite is just about finishing up. There we go. We claim that there. So this gives me everything to build the deep breath. I might as well actually get that one started, so I don't accidentally spend the resources somewhere else or just forget about it. And that is a replace for the Archroid, so I no longer need the Diconic, I no longer need the Tubular Gill System, I no longer need the Scintillant. All of that is skipped out, and the Thymoid was a purchase I also didn't need to make earlier. So now, this brings it all the way down to just needing these fishing materials from Deimos. Let's head on over to Daughter. Let's cut up these fish as well. I'm just going to open them all up. I'm not going to be trading these to anyone. I've got no reason to do so. Let's just cut it all open. With these resources, we should have everything on top of what was picked up during the missions. Head on over to the modulars. Spore Lacer, check. Ulnaris, check. In 1 hour's time, I'm going to have everything needed to put together a Spore Lacer kit gun. Meanwhile, this room over here should now have finished construction. There we go, beautiful. We have the Oracle ready to go. If I recall correctly, the Oracle doesn't actually do anything, it just looks a little bit fancy, but it allows us to build the next thing we need. This one can go into this room over here. And for this one, we are going to be building that very, very important Orokin Lab. This is what's going to enable us to get hold of those Dragon Keys, and those Dragon Keys is what's going to enable us to be able to get those corrupted mods. There we go, that is in place. Let's once again contribute everything. I've only got 5 former, but it has to be done. That is now building. I can come back to that one 24 hours or more from now. I am so glad that's the last of the former I need to spend here right now. We're continuing on our journey through towards the Neptune Junction. The only thing left to do for this now is to defeat Tile Regger at Titania on Uranus, and that is this node right here. This is also the source of Equinox, the only source of normal Equinox without just buying it for platinum. And a lot of people complain about this one because of the number of Equinox pieces you need to get. Now, I've considered maybe I should farm Equinox on Dan just to flex and show how doable it is. However, I don't think that's really in the spirit of Dan. I feel like Dan's got other things to be doing. But maybe you disagree. Let me know.
I'm very excited now. The anticipation. Ooh, I always learn so much from a live dissection.
Ta-da! And that node is taken out. We've got one of the Equinox pieces. We're guaranteed to get one, and a bunch of Gallium. But there is a long farm ahead if I were to farm an Equinox. Fan mail! And with that, it is time to take on the Junction. Let's see what we're fighting here, and unlock the quest, The Second Dream. Well, that's ominous. Got him. And with that, the next planet is unlocked. Time for us to enjoy this really low FPS animation once again. We have the Gamma Core, which needs Argon Crystals. And we have the Second Dream. 1 hour later, these parts are now all finished constructing. So we've got the Spore Lacer, we have got the Grip, which will make it a secondary, and we've got the Deep Breath Loader, that one that did not require Scintillant, and therefore should make this a whole lot more manageable for us. Let's head on over now, back to Deimos. We could also go to Rudzood in Fortuna, but we're going to Deimos, the Necrolisk here. Let's go speak to Father and assemble this kit gun. Build the kit gun.
He's gone. Put the
Chamber,
shard away.
Spore Laser,
Choice.
Grip, Ulnaris, Loader, Deep Breath. There we go. It's not going to give us as much crit as using the other loader here from Deimos, but it's fine in that we don't need to go as crazy on getting the resources. This is all that we need, and 5,000 credits, I think we can afford that. Let's build this.
And that ought to do it. Here you go.
Thank you very much. Now, previously, kit guns used to have lower stats until gilded. That got removed. You can enjoy the full stats of a kit gun straight away. Gilding is necessary in order to start getting mastery from them, and it also gives you a polarity, but we can still get as much as we can towards full power straight away. That is a gun that is going to mean business. Or it will do, right as soon as we rank it up, because right now, it has so little capacity, I can't even put on a Hornet Strike. After a bit of work grinding out some missions, the kit gun, the Spore Laser, is now rank 30. At this point, I could guild it to get a polarity on here, but then I'd have to go through the process of re-leveling it to be able to put all these mods on. At best, if I were to then polarize one of these 3 mods here, I would have 8 capacity left over to fit, well, not a lot of great options at this point in time because the actual mods I have access to are still rather limited. But for now, I do have my crit mods, I have a damage mod, and a triple elemental mod giving me a heat viral setup. This is a setup ready to go face the next quest, and the next up of those is the Deadlock Protocol. So the reason we're going for this side quest, even though it's a side quest, is because of the rewards that we get from completing it, which is to obtain the Zoris, a very powerful melee weapon, a glaive. So let's go ahead and begin this quest.
Seven for, 7 against. Cast and recast 7 times. So, it is decided. The fleet has been retrofitted and redeployed to begin at once. New lanes. Trawling for old things. By prophet and void, by the blessed handless founder, we hereby invoke the Deadlock Protocol.
Solaris, be you Sumper, Whale Agent, Crud Diver, or Pit Boss. Hear this. Nef Anyo, in his hubris, is writing checks and cashing them with Solaris lives. There is upset in the halls of Corpus Power. To those who have aided us in the past, join us now. You are needed.
Sparky! Yes. Biz and I may be in over our heads on this one. Listen up. This Deadlock spat is costing Solaris lives. The Corpus founder, some long-dead cove named Parvis Granum, carries a lot of messianic clout. Well, Nef's claiming the old man's got an heir. If true, that heir can, by rights, claim total control of the board. Board schisms and infighting might be the main reason SU survived this long. If the board unifies under one person, one found by Nef, our people will never see daylight. It's Nef, all right. Patching through.
Like all of you, I was born poor.
With but a meager derivatives portfolio and limited vesting options. I never knew my parents. But, as an orphan, poor as I said, I found great riches within the tenets of our glorious founder, Parvos Granum.
The Corpus became my family. But over the years, as my wealth blossomed,
And my humility grew vast, I began to see a certain similarity. I wondered, who am I really? After a protracted negotiation, my birth mother sold to me the secrets of my conception.
Wait, what? Get that signal back!
Very special, very secret succession program. It was an epiphany. It would seem that I am one of the sons of our late, great founder. And, more importantly, his heir. Now I have only to prove it. That is where all of you come in.
The brass on this mucker. I have to protect my people from this trust fund lunatic. Do your thing. I'll check in with my Whisper network. Let you know what they're saying. Talk soon. The brass! So, Neff's making a succession play. Sumper thinks he can prove he's a sprog of noble descent. No idea how. Parvus was assassinated before any of us were an itch. Biz?
Look familiar, Outworlder. Warframe, yes, but one of a kind. Protea. Legend says she was built specifically for and assigned to one Parvos Granum. Yes, part of a deal Granum cut with the Orokin themselves. Granum was no amateur. He had real power. Our air inside says Neff's techs have found a lead on Protea's whereabouts. Protean traces, they're calling them.
Our people are vanishing because of this. That's true, I know it. I don't care if Parvus Granum is dead, alive, or making change tap dancing in a Grineer officer's mess. Sparky, you find what Neff's looking for. You'll find out what happened to our people. Get on it. It's, right. It's a great, big hand.
Granum Tribute. Story is, Parvos was missing his left hand. See if you can...
Another engineering blunder? We need confirmation. Reset and get our next volunteer into position.
What was that?
I think it was a void temporal shift. I'm not entirely sure. I've never seen one before. Small, though. About as big as a person. Patch me into the system.
Ready now? Protean trace spiking. It's time! Send in the next volunteer!
They're gearing up for something.
Let's see what's happening at another sensor.
No! Biz! What is that thing?
I'm not. Outworlder, hold position. I'm getting something.
Volunteers. He's killing our people for some kind of weapons test.
Maybe not. I'm still pulling signal from that jockey's rig.
By prophet! By void! It's real! It's real!
What is this? What are we looking at?
The jockey's feed.
To the Corvus Board and my many supporters across the Origin system, everyone is asking, when will I, Nephanyo, end this unprofitable, squabbling deadlock? Friends, our time is at hand.
How many kids are going to grow up in the feds because of this? How many parents lost? If Neff intends to visit that pocket for his proof, he won't risk himself. Not at first. Sparky, you can beat him to it. Biz has figured out how to activate Neff's Granum tributes. You won't believe this.
These tributes are essentially coin-operated. You'll need a Granum crown.
To cross over, you'll need to find a Granum crown first. Search the area.
Now, I know from experience that is going to come from those
If you make it across,
treasurers.
keep an eye out for our people.
A pound of old flesh for a glorious new legacy.
I paid top credits to Crab and Neff's coffin. Double if he was still alive.
That guy easily taken out.
One of Parvos Granum, and my lineage shall be proven. None shall deny me. What? Tenno? Again? Not today. As Parvos' heir, it is my offering to make. I am
Nope.
coming, Father. It is I who shall pay tribute. Your Neff is almost home.
And let's pop ourselves in. 1 Granum Crown.
We've got a lock on you, Outworlder. Good luck.
It has been so long since these old eyes beheld another living thing here in the sanctuary.
You are alive. My faith never wavered.
When the board's assassins overloaded my transport's void drive, Protea preserved me.
Well, that explains how he's still here.
But at the cost of all that she was. Now, she is nothing more than a specter of her former self. My beautiful Protea. That is why you have been invited here.
Father, permit me to show you all I have built in your name. Do Neff Anyo that honor.
My name. I have watched you. Monuments to narcissism, demanding others sweat in your stead, gorging upon that which you have not earned. Watched as you claimed for yourself my teachings of self-reliance, perverting them into a flaccid philosophy of sloth, of idleness. Is that you, my son?
No, that must be a different son.
One of my favourite lines in this whole thing.
No, nothing. Falling short as you do of every ideal that I value. Your words, your efforts, are the model of inadequacy. Protea has scanned her kin, and with that, she is reinvigorated.
Ah. Whoops.
Now, my lovely, if you wouldn't mind, show our guests the door.
We've got a lock on you, Outworlder. Good luck. What the hell? Outworlder, I'm pulling sensory feeds from a trip you haven't taken yet. And hearing myself say things I've never said in a place I've never seen.
Vox Solaris. Our interests have come to align. You want to rescue those comrades trapped in there, and I want to keep the past where it belongs. Dead and buried. Deal?
We've received the Zoris blueprint. In order to build it, we need a Zoris blade, a Zoris core, and a Zoris handle.
Neff's a bloviating narcissist with the morals of a haunted chainsaw, but at least that makes him predictable. Parvos. That mucker is something else. I don't trust Neff, but if any of our own are still alive in there, we have to try. Biz will lead the build on this Zoris gizmo.
Vault number 1. Let's crack it open. Now, we're not using Vault, so we are physically slower. And these guys are turning up to immediately cause my Sentinel to make noise, which is going to attract the attention of this guy. If I could hit him, I could get rid of him. Damn, that is a lot of damage incoming. Now, if I recall correctly, there's usually another enemy over this side in these vaults. Oh, he's over that side. Let's take him out so he doesn't set off any alarms. And we can grab this out of here.
Looks like a partial find. Let's see if Anyo's cipher works as promised.
Progress always comes entangled with risk, with violence. The Entrati have kept their secrets long enough.
The Entrati have kept their secrets long enough, eh? Oh, what little he knows.
Get back to your ship. I need to figure out this Zorus thing.
You've got to build the Zorus before Parvus gets free.
Alright, let's build the Zorus. I do have a few other things built and ready to go, but they can sit there for now. This is far more important. Build time, 0 minutes. It's actually 30 seconds, but we can rush it for 0 platinum to make it just done.
A weapon? Glaive class, but with an energy trap. Spectre particles, maybe.
Now the Zorus is not only unranked, but it has come without a Orokin Catalyst built into it, because I built it. That's a little bit painful for the modding capacity. I don't have a stance mod to go with it either, so I am stuck with just 5 capacity. Eliminate nearby enemies. There we go. Get in.
Outwelder? Yudi, they're alive! Listen, Neff's whole fleet is overloading. Huge energy spike. We need to take out Protea. Ready that Zorus.
Oh, I'm ready.
Our red jockeys. They're trapped in some kind of energy enclosure. You'll need to charge the Zorus to break it open.
Risk comes
Armor
from
up.
not knowing what you are doing. There's no stopping this without stopping Protea. A bit like eating your own, no?
Here they come. Take out the errants, then use the Zorus to trap the Spectre particles that escape. You'll have to time it just right.
Oh, I can grab them. If my companion doesn't kill them first. Where are they? There they are. I'll let our companion bring it down. I never thought Taxon would be this much of a problem, but there we go.
You'll need to trigger your Zorus to discharge near them.
By now, your friends have noticed that the overloading void engines are preventing the exits you opened for my captives from closing. Well done.
Time to defeat Protea.
And goodbye. Enjoy
Let's say Zorus while
your
Protea
stay.
rewinds.
She's reversing the temporal field. Try to interrupt it. A fully charged burst from the Zorus might do it.
Oh, a fully charged burst. Okay.
You're too late! The old man's errant specters have... Huh? The Protean trace is... gone? Where is he? Where is my father?
That temporal effect again. And yes, there are your sensory feeds, just like last time. So, the Zorus worked. In a battle that never happened. Or did it? I have a headache.
Now the question is, does defeating Protea with the Zorus give it a whole load of affinity? We've taken on a whole Warframe there. That should give us something, right?
Excellent work, Tenno.
Rank 1. We've defeated a Warframe. And we get rank 1 on the Zorus. Deadlock Protocol complete. Protea Blueprint acquired, but I'm absolutely not going to be farming the pieces for that. We don't need Protea, and that is not a gentle farm. With that, the Zorus is acquired. One of the weapons that Dan saw in his vision of the future. A crucial weapon in defeating the Murmur. And now I need to level it up and find mods for it. Well, well, well. Barrow Katia has arrived again. I'm not making the same mistake as last time. Let's see what Barrow's got, and let's see what I can make of it. Navigate to Void Trader. Let's have a look first at the weapons. Prisma Gorgon, Mastery 11, Mastery 11, Mastery 11. Yep, can't have any of this lot. Miscellaneous Resource Booster, V8 Relic. I wouldn't be able to afford enough of them to make it work out. Mod Drop Chance Booster. Sounds nice for the Endo game, but again, very expensive. Okay, and then the mods. Let's see. Smite Grenier, Smite Infested. Prime Convulsion is nice, but again, hideously expensive for the return I'll get on it. Prime Redirection sounds nice, but I don't really need that amount of shields. Oh, hello. I was planning to get Archon Continuity because I didn't expect to see Prime Continuity during this entire run. Let's see, what can I melt down? Now, we've got a variety of items picked up from running some relics now. And the chance of me actually getting a full set of anything to build this way is pretty low. 340? I can't remember how much it was, but let's just melt this all now. 350. Okay, a little bit further. I do have to step into some of the burst and bits. That's fine.
How fortunate for you.
There we go. Prime Continuity on Dan. Now, upgrading it fully is not going to be something I can do anytime soon. Primed Continuity starts at a 5%, and my current continuity, in fact, is at 20%. So what would it take to get this to 20%? It's only 280 Endo, and 13,000 credits, will bring it up to 7 drain versus the 5 on normal continuity. So that is a downgrade in that regard. What makes it an upgrade is it can keep going. But to get that full continuity out of it, plus 55% ability duration, is going to cost nearly 2 million credits and 40,920 Endo. I could use the legendary core that was given out from the Quest to Conquer Cancer, but as I already promised, I'm not going to use that. That was from a one-off event. Granted, QTCC comes around each year, but it's still an event item that I really shouldn't get here. Another round of leveling complete. The Zoris is at max rank 30. I've also added an Orokin Catalyst to bring it up to a 60 capacity, and with my limited Endo and mod selection, this is the build that I now have onto it. So we've got ourselves a electric focus build, building on the innate electric of the Zoris. We've got Pressure Point for the pure damage. We've got True Seal and Organ Shatter for the crits. We've got Melee Prowess for a status bonus. It's not the biggest improvement, but it is an improvement. Fury to improve the attack speed, going through heavy attack animations, and Killing Blow, giving both a damage bonus and a wind-up speed bonus for those same heavy attacks. Altogether, this is a very balanced loadout. With that all in mind, it is about time to get on to the second dream.
Who destroyed the Orokin? Your way of life. Who do you hunt, Shadow, to cleanse your despair in their blood?
I think there's supposed to be an acid there.
Sever their heads, yet they rise again. Someone has hidden the Tenno essence, their truth from you. Lotus. I know where she hides the Tenno heart. A womb in the sky, forbidden to my kind, but where you will take me. Who? I am Anhao, sentient destroyer of worlds. By your hand, expose their heart. By my edge, cleave it beating from its nest.
He has enlisted the Stalker to find the reservoir, a weak point of Alteno, a place I hid long ago. I fear the Stalker is on the cusp of finding this place. Do not let this happen. We're nearing the console. Trigger the alarms now, and they will start destroying the data.
Why can't I... there was no finisher prompt. That was weird. Let's head our way through here. Take out one broken fan. Next broken fan. Blink under here. Broken fan. Oh, I expected it to be across. Nope, it was right ahead of me. And then we can go up here, but I want to be watching. They're soft alert. They'll see me as soon as I go up.
This data vault has already been raided. The data is damaged, but there could be a message here. I need another data sample to piece it together.
Got it.
That's what I was looking for. I can decode the rest of the message. This is bizarre. It's for me. I need a moment to contact this person, get to extraction.
A message for Lotus in the Grineer archives.
I will be discreet. The message you uncovered was an offer to help us. I do not trust the person who wrote it, but we are out of options.
Hello, Tenno. Are you surprised? Why? You know I've always had my ear to the kennel. Those dogs don't have a clue what kind of bone they've dug up. But I do. Shall I show you? Don't worry. You can trust me this time.
Man, that guy is just pure slime.
Are these the bones you're looking for, Lotus?
Yes, this is it. A fragment of my father, destroyed in the old war. I can use it to see him.
Okay.
I see the stalker stronger. Hunhow's voice within him. I see the reservoir, but I feel confusion. He doesn't know unless... Oh no.
Thank you, daughter. Fear has baited you to the snare. What was secret is now known. Your Tenno, their touch. I now see the womb of the sky. My shadow now walks the path.
Well done, Lotus.
Get out of there, Tenno.
Tell me, Lotus, what is this reservoir? Some hidden Tenno weakness?
Good question.
Goodbye, Alad. You've earned your favor. We'll take it from here.
Don't think so. I'm here to protect my investment.
The Void Key.
These things never made sense to me. You're smart, Tenno. You'll figure out how to open it again, won't you?
This needle pierces the sky. Not how will we find the Tenno heart within? These puppets will not stop me. I will attack in many forms.
And I have a shotgun.
Impressive. These sentient fighters appear to adapt to damage. I'd love to crack one open and see what makes it tick.
Yeah, good luck adapting to that.
To your attacks. Try something different.
It really didn't. I one-shot it. I may have geared up a little bit too hard.
The Stalker has built void keys. Use this one to reopen the portal before more sentient fighters come. The void is poison to them.
We'll let her finish speaking for a bit, because I've run ahead.
Cross the threshold. Go now. The sentients cannot follow.
Oh, don't you just hate that feeling? Makes my stomach flip. Let's see where you've landed. Find a nav console. Sweet prophet, the moon exists. It was in the void all along. I knew the Lotus was powerful, but this, she erased history. We thought it was destroyed all this time. My, Lotus, you make a fine villain.
And the reservoir with it. Very clever, Nata. Shadow, your path is clear.
Now we can activate this.
Hunhouse found it. The reservoir, hidden in the void. A place sentients can never reach. We must do everything to keep it there. It's the only way to keep the Tenno's power alive.
Found the reservoir? As unpleasant as our past is, I have to ask. I've seen inside a Tenno, yes, and what I found didn't make sense. Does this reservoir conceal some great deception? It seems to me that this tower is dedicated to masking the moon's location in the void, yes. Why not disable the mask so that Claptrap orders can pick them up? Or is that too complicated for you?
Operator, how did you get through to me? Don't worry, Otis is on his way now, preparing for extraction.
The sky will be as it was meant. The shadow returns the moon. The reservoir swells with Tenno blood. The old war finally ends. Collapse the void, Shadow, so that my fragments may attack. The Tenno hearts will beat their last.
No. If the void is collapsed, the reservoir will be destroyed, and you and the rest of the Tenno will be lost. Get to the void control room and stop the Stalker.
It is done. The moon will be crushed by the weight of the void. The sky will be as it should be.
I didn't want to have to do this, but the collapse is imminent. If the reservoir is to survive, we need to pull the moon out of the void. Here, help me disrupt the void compasses to reorient the moon.
Orokin, the noise you make will cease now, and forever.
Oh, if only.
Uh-oh, Hanhaus found me. Sorry I can't stick around to see how this all ends, but I got to save my own skin. Don't forget our deal, Lotus.
The moon is back in normal space, but the reservoir is in more danger than ever. Hunhao will send his fighters, and the Stalker is still coming for you. Move now.
It's about the other rejects we consigned to Lua a few years ago. They're calling it transference. These are golems possessed by devil minds.
Dream. Not of what you are, but of what you want to be.
You hesitate, Shadow, but remember your despair. This is your only chance to make it end. Your hatred is too weak, Shadow. Mine is strong. My fragments will finish this.
While Dan escapes the reservoir with his struggling Warframe, there is nothing left to defend the rest. In discovering he was never alone, Dan is plunged into solitude. His vision of the future, of being the lone Tenno, has become starkly real.
Descend into the heart of your orbiter. There you will find the somatic link. Stalker! How? Get past him. Get to the link. Focus, Tenno. Use your energy to breathe life into the somatic link.
No self, no sense, no death. Just a metal puppet dangling on Tenno strings. Only the Tenno's death will end your despair. All your dread-long life, you've waited for this moment. But you're asking yourself, was I one of these wretched things? You know the answer. You still hate them. You still hate yourself. What is this? Shadow.
We just tore through ourselves with that, right?
Now we fight on two fronts, my child. The war without, and the war within.
And with that, we have finally met Dan, the operator, Dan. As this is not my main account, I am not going to presumptuously change the character to my own design. Instead, this is Dan. Dan also stands for default.
As the Tenno grew, they founded great schools, the Tenno Ways. Do you see yours?
I do indeed see the verified options here. It is indicating by these little pips which one matches my choices. However, I am going to be a little bit more metagame and pick Xenoric. We have acquired the Xenoric Focus School. We have acquired, in fact, operator access. Dan's face has finally been revealed, and we begin our journey through unlocking the focus trees. Dan has made his very first steps back into the light of day. Irma, we're coming for you.